Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I posted up a poll not too long ago asking if you guys would, or what your guys' take was on you know, a video that was a little more serious than my typically, Maple guides, Maple whatever, right? And it's like 3 a.m. right now. I just got home from a rave and probably not the best time to be recording a video like this, or maybe it is the best time because I'm so clear-headed. Um, but this is pretty much gonna highlight a lot of what happened over the last year and a half, probably longer, to be honest. And I'm really just uploading this just because I feel like there probably are other people who are going through the same thing or went through the same thing and probably could, I'm not asking for advice or anything. I'm kind of just venting, not venting, but like, saying out my what I feel and kind of try to get down to why I feel it. Um, but yeah, before I begin, I just want to say that I'll post the links to all of my socials, my personal socials, so like Instagram. It's pretty much really the only one I use, but my Instagram, my Twitch, of course. And for those of you guys who don't know, I also do like to share my friends' content a lot, not only just to support them because they're my good friends, but I pretty much leave them in the description box in most of my videos. But this time I have a new one that I kind of want to shout out more so. Not really, kind of. Yeah, I guess you could say more so. And that's a Twitch streamer that her Twitch is actually wow. Did I not know it? Oh, Chow Mein too. uh, and she is someone I think I consider a friend that I met at Slander a couple weeks back, and yeah, I think that's pretty much a good segue into uh, kind of what this video is going to be about: being sad, being happy, letting loose, all of that good stuff that you normally don't hear from people who make content, or maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't watch enough YouTube to know, but yeah, let's just start off with at COVID, or maybe before that. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm Cantonese. My parents are super Cantonese, and I guess one of the things that's kind of always bothered me, kind of always not, was uh, feeling like I was ever good enough as like a person, as a son, as a friend, or whatever, right? I always worried that like, oh, what if I'm not worthy of whatever? And I think it kind of has to do with the way I was raised, right? You get perfect grades, whatever, you get into the college of your parents' dream. Keep that in mind, your parents' dream. Um, and it's still like, oh, yeah, you're only natural that you're supposed to do it because blah, 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 blah. And there's really never a sense of like, oh, I accomplished something XYZ for me. And I feel like this is pretty common. Sorry, when you're dealing with Asian parents. Um, I know for me specifically, growing up, it was always, oh, you need to do X perfectly, and then you do it like pretty close enough, and you're like, oh, and you get told that you're not enough, or that whatever you did was not enough. And I guess that kind of carried on to uh, why I have such a closed off mindset when it comes to meeting people. I feel like for the most part, um, that if I try to reach out to somebody, um, I'm like kind of scared, like, oh, what if, I feel like it's kind of natural, like, oh, what if they don't vibe with me or they don't like me, blah, blah, blah. But I still do it. It's kind of how I went about, getting connections in Maplestory and whatnot, and just kind of like meeting people. I guess in this past year over COVID, it was kind of like one of the biggest things that helped me, you know, kind of get over it. And that was just talking to people for a time span of, less than 1 year, right? And really feeling like, oh, they do value you as like a friend, and they really do like take time to talk to you. And I'm not saying I don't have friends in real life that I can't talk to, because that's not true. And if he ends up watching this video, Bradley and Henry, you guys know who you are, and also all of my other friends and what I would consider my close friend group. You guys know who you are. I don't want to name drop, but just for the sake of doing this in a timely manner. But yeah, that was kind of like one of the things that always I wanted, like, prevented me from like reaching out, networking, meeting people, even talking to people. I always felt like, oh, if they wanted anything to do with me, they would initiate or whatever, except for the instances where I initiated because, say, I knew a friend of a friend or something, right? And it was kind of crazy to me because a lot of that, like, kind of like changed. So I guess in my mindset, right, I feel like people are always busy doing their own things. Like, I don't want to waste their time. When you first introduce yourself to someone, you're kind of like a random, kind of like that person at Channel 16 Hennessy's or Channel 1 Hennessy's is like, oh, why would I give you, 20, 30, 40 minutes of my time? Like, when I already have, like, whatever set up, or like friends. Where was I going with this? So I always like, it's not like I didn't want to initiate. I just felt like, oh, if they wanted me for something, they would ask, or they would talk to me, or for whatever. And I think in college, the very first time was like actually liking a girl. And I know this sounds silly, uh, but pretty much growing from like, I want to say like K to 18, like there was always one person who I thought I wasn't good enough for. So so like pretty much from, I wouldn't say elementary school or middle school, pretty much as high school, because I don't think I can act truly like someone. But there was always one person. I try my best to cut out these, like, you know me clearing my throat, because I know I sound weird right now. Um, maybe I won't. Maybe I leave them in there because fuck, this is a one take baby. But yeah, there was one person that always was kind of there for me, whether like we talked or not. And she was always so accepting, so kind, and everything, even though our like history, like elementary school history, was like not good. I was a bully, okay. um and it's so crazy to me because every once in a while she'll reach out and I'll be like, holy shit, like, wow, like this person cares. And that was like kind of one of the first things that kind of like got me. And basically where I'm trying to like say with this is, for a large part during COVID, even though I had people to talk to and I knew I had people to talk to, and I was also meeting new people, there was always this kind of like sense of sadness, like, oh, blah 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 blah. My friends are out doing this and I can't because COVID. I lived with two of my grandparents at the time. One of them has since passed, rest in peace. Um, and bringing home a virus where your population, like half your household, is like incredibly prone to whatever, you can't do that. At least not at the time. Vaccines weren't developed yet. Thanks, Moderna. Um, so for the large part, I kind of just stayed home and started building, I guess, these new friendships with people online, that most of which, I can't say all of which because I have met some of them at this point, most of which I haven't even met, right? And during COVID, I think, was the second time that I really fell for a girl. And the first time, if fucked, okay. I guess it would be the third time. First time's like, and whatever. I don't really need to talk about. Second time was a girl in college. My friends know that story. And the third time was during COVID. A girl that I met online, and it kind of the same idea, like I do all this and I still don't think I'm enough or like not worthy or whatever. And we talked for I don't want to say like half of COVID. Um, and it was, I guess it was in hindsight nice to have someone that I could talk to every day or whatever. But there's something I want to say emotional connection wasn't really there. Uh, and then my grandma passing away eventually, I was the one who was just like, hey, no, we've been talking, can't do that anymore because I honestly I need to focus on myself, right? And for a long time after that, I was just kind of content, doing my studies and whatever, talking to some friends online and in real life. I started hanging out with my friends in real life again, and that was crazy. Um, but yeah, where am I going? Okay, fast forward to 2 weeks ago. I went to a rave for the first time. I posted about it on here when I asked if anyone was going to Slander. And I think that was like the first time where I was just like, wow, people are a lot kinder than I made them out to be in my head, especially strangers. Maybe because, it is a rave, it's a social event, everybody's a little more sociable. But I honestly want to say that that rave was probably one of the best nights of my life. Not only did I get to spend it with, some friends that I've known for years at this point. Again, it's my close circle of friends. But I also met new people, talked to people who I previously knew but never really like talked to. Like we know, like, oh, I know who you are. Is like pretty much the extent of our uh friend, not a relationship, I guess is the better term for it. And it's like maybe maybe it was the setting and like, oh, we're all friends or friends of friends, so it's really easy to get along. But I don't know, something about that night was just so I want to say euphoric. Let's use euphoric, right? Like, oh, everybody was so kind, everybody that I met at the rave, everybody or whatever, and just being able to like forget about all the shit that I have to do, literally the day after. I think I went to work. I think I literally went to work the day after, and I was just like, what the like having that. How long was Slander? Like 4 hours, 5 hours to literally just let loose and not have to think about any of like the stressors. I'll say that are otherwise in my life was kind of crazy in the sense that I've never really had a time like that. Like usually even when I'm, doing things to like take my mind off things like playing games or whatever, there's still like especially in Maplestory, I'm sure something like drama or whatever that comes up where you're kind of like forced into, dealing with a shitty situation that you don't want to deal with, but you kind of have to do it anyways because it's just how things go. Um, but where was I going? So I was sad, friend thing, and then meeting people, blah blah blah. Basically, what I'm trying to say, one of the craziest things about that night was just seeing like how kind people are. Um, I want to say it was a genuine kindness. I'm not like the best person at sniffing out fake people, but I want to say it's genuine kindness. Talking to those people afterwards too. It's like wow, like, it's pretty crazy. Like we literally like talked for like probably a minute or two in total. at the rave, just because you don't really talk at raves. You kind of just like let loose and shit. But yeah, what am I gonna say? And then like meeting people because you met them, et cetera, kind of like branching out your like network, which is something I hadn't really done before because I was always so content, like, oh, I have my day ones that I could go to for literally fucking anything, and then like, why would I need anything else, And then I think Maplestory kind of played a role in this too, because I did end up posting my how I spent $13,000 on Maplestory, pretty much highlighting everything I spent over COVID. Um, and that in itself was like pretty shocking to me. Reasons why I was upgrading, because I really, it feels bad being a Maplestory content creator and saying that like the game doesn't mean like the world to me. Like I log on and play to have fun and like talk to people who I now consider like really good friends. And somewhere along the line, I started dropping an absurd amount of money. Obviously, it's within my means because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here making this video right now. I'd be doing something else trying to make that money back. But dropping $13,000 in a year on a video game is pretty crazy. I guess a year and a half. But yeah, where am I going with this? Oh, right. I think for a large portion of it was obviously, I did like seeing making progress, like being good, but I think it also does tie back to whether or not it was like being good enough for, the people in my guild or the people that I'm friends with, and just wanting to like be better overall, just to, going back to the never feeling like I was enough or good enough thing. But now I like, especially ever since school started, uh, clearly I have had less time to play the game. I went from I probably played Maplestory for about 6 to 8 hours a day during COVID, to probably like 1 to 2 hours a day if I at all. These are days I get home and I'm just so sick of everything. I don't even want to log on. Um, and I think a large part of that is because back then I didn't really have anywhere else to like try to make myself worthy, I want to say. So it's like, oh, here's one thing I can do. I can get stat, I can carry people, I can help people, which I love doing. I love to help people. It's part of the reason why I decided to become a bioengineer. Um, but obviously, there's things that we can't overwrite about our lives, and what kind of shaped us into being the type of person I am. Because honestly, I want to say I don't really share like a lot of the really deep stuff that I kind of like. I don't want to say bottle up because I don't bottle them up. But I also don't tell anyone. It's never really bothered me too much. This is probably the one of the first times, and probably never would have thought that I would be, talking about what I feel and emotions on a fucking video platform in front of, probably the 3,000 people that are going to see this video, for however long. Um, but Maple definitely plays a role. It kind of connects you. I really want to say it's kind of like a high school or college, really, where everybody, logs in every day. Everybody has, does what they want to do based on for their character. And then, you kind of meet people along the way doing these things. And I don't know where I'm going with this, if I'm being honest. So I was sad. I was happy at the rave. And now trying to continue being happy, right? Um, I try to reach out to people, especially the people that I really enjoy spending time with. And uh, honestly, some people I don't reach out to as much as I'd like to. Um, I don't think she's gonna see this video, so yeah, I think I'm good. I'm not gonna name drop, but she is like one of the people that I hold very, very close to my heart, just because even though we don't talk and never really like talked a ton, I think like she's always been there for me, and it feels like really shitty, like you know, saying things and then not holding up to it, which I know I do. Um, but there's I literally just there's days I get home and the only thing I want to do is just lay in bed and sleep, and then on top of all that, I have all my shitty assignments to do, which aren't shitty in the sense that like I love to learn. Um, I was gonna say I love to learn. Um, but there's that whole timing aspect. I'm sure as much as I love reading research articles, I would also love taking this person out and like really talking, getting to know them. Even though I feel like I know them pretty well, but and my friends too. Like I would love to hang out more and all that stuff. But there's literally days where I just want to lay down and just you know chill. But one of the things that I kind of recognized is that I can only do so much, and I value these people so much because I think they'll be there. Obviously, I can't know, um, but I do know that if there's times when I literally didn't talk to them for years on end and they still care about me, it's like it's kind of crazy, and I don't want to take that for granted because I do want to spend time with this person. It's just like I said, it's fucked. Um, especially so all the work that I have to do, just kind of prepping for classes and stuff. But if you do end up watching this video, I'm sure you know who you are. Um, I mentioned you're a she. There's not that many girls I want to say that I talked to in my life, um, or that are really in there at all. So I'm pretty sure if you could guess who you are, um, and too. Um, oh, where's I going with this? This is not a love video. This is about happiness. Okay. Um, but yeah, one of the things that's really been getting me going is just, I want to say like not giving a shit is like the best way to describe it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, and then, that's a terrible way to say something, right? But not in the sense that I don't care. It's just like ever since that rave, I've kind of loosened up, you know. Um, every girl that I've ever liked, and I can literally count them on one hand. Um, I've all but one of them. I think I tried really hard, and uh, you know, it's interesting because I feel like the harder you try for something, it's like obviously a good thing that you're trying and caring, right? But like, there's also that additional like layer of stress that you kind of um, put on yourself when you were trying to do something to impress or to get the attention of a specific person. And so, ever since that, so it's literally been 2 weeks, guys. Keep that in mind. I've just kind of just been, living life and just, you know, doing things that I'd never do in the past because I thought it would be weird, like, complimenting people on their clothes or outfits or saying hi to someone or like responding. I don't want to say responding because I respond always for the most part, but like, just like those small little micro interactions with people. And I feel like that's really broadened up my mood quite a bit. Just like saying hi to someone and then saying hi back, and you see a smile on their face, or you can tell because uh, most people, when they smile, their mask moves. So I can't see their smile, but I can tell that they're smiling. And it's like, I just feel like it sucks. You go through so much so many years of maybe you're not me. Maybe you do say hi to everybody. Maybe you're like super positive and everything. But I'm just talking for me, specifically. All those years when I literally just had to say hi to people and talk, but I didn't because I didn't think that I would be good enough for some reason. Um, and that's really changed my mood, specifically in these past few weeks. I feel like I'm not as shy to say something even to my close circle of friends, just like, oh. um, because before I literally would just like, nah, fuck no, I'm not saying anything, even though I kind of want to. But yeah, it's been going on for 25 minutes. If you guys are still listening, much wow. I don't know what to say. I definitely do not take you guys for granted, though. One of the biggest motivators for me sticking making YouTube guides, specifically for Maplestory, even when I don't necessarily enjoy them, was just being able to help people. I want to say, a lot of knowledge in this game that a lot of people probably don't. And, being able to share and like seeing people in game say, oh, haha, your guides really helped me out, your whatever really helped me out. Maybe it's like an ego thing. Maybe it relates back to my thing of not being good enough or whatever. But I think for the most part, I really do enjoy helping people, and um, kind of why I'm making this video, because I know somewhere out there, someone probably feels the same. I'm not saying, go to a rave or whatever. Actually, that's a lie. I think raves are great. I think the people there are overall like more sociable in general, so it's a lot easier for you to kind of see that there is a different side of the world. And not everybody's just so cutthroat and like so busy all the time. There's always time for people to let loose, and I think a rave is a good place to kind of understand that idea. I know some people, maybe not have like as big of a change as it did on me, but I guess what I'm trying to say for the purpose of this video is just do something outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like it's such a big cliche that people say, like, oh, go out and do something you never do. And uh, I don't know. I think it works. Ask me literally 2 years ago if I would ever go to a rave, and I for sure would have said, no way would you ever see me in that type of a social context. And now I love doing it. Um, going to another one tomorrow, actually. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video here. A lot of it was pretty useless rambling, but as always, I'm gonna thank you guys so much for watching this video. Check out the description for all the external links, and as always, I will see you all next time. Peace.